Hello. Today I wanted to talk about shame. And it's a good thing. Hold on. It's a good thing because I have a lot that I've learned about shame, and I really feel like this could help a lot of people. Normally, I don't like making videos where I'm teaching. It's kind of like a North House thing. I'm just like, do I really want to step into that teacher role? But today, I wanted to talk about it because I have just learned so much, and yeah. So, what had led me to making this video, and sorry if the camera tilts, I don't care anymore. What led me to making this video was yesterday, I was with my family, and I ended up saying something racist. I'm not actually gonna say what I said, but it was a specific word I didn't know was racist, and it was racist. Very racist. I did not know that. And immediately there was this deep, deep shame. The and the reason why I'm still like festering on this is because, well, emotions take time to get by, and I'm learning to not be like, okay, well, I felt it for like 10 minutes and now it's over. Sometimes they stay longer, and that's okay. But I learned a lot from it, and I'm gonna stop saying that. I'm just gonna get into the video. So it was agonizing, is what it was. It was completely agonizing. It was utterly humiliating. I felt so shamed. I felt so humiliated. I felt so uneducated. I felt so harmful. I felt a little bit evil. Like, how did I not know this was an offensive term this whole time? I will not be sharing the term again. And then I really got into somehow this feeling of acceptance. It could have been like trying to avoid the feeling of the pain, honestly. A lot of times, like, whenever I'm like, oh, it's okay now because of this and I accept it, it's like you're still trying to cop out. But I was like, I'm instead of trying to defend myself, because I had a very good reason to defend myself for why I didn't think it was racist. And also, when I said it in the moment, the intention, like, I went back to that moment. I like to do this a lot, whenever I'm feeling like, why the fuck did I do that or whatever. Like, instead of thinking about the memory of the past from everybody else's perspective, I go back into my body. And before I said the thing, what was my intention in the moment? And in that moment, the intention was so completely innocent. It was just like, that's not what I thought that word was at all, ever in the past 23 years of living at all. And there's also like a lot of anatomical reasons to back this up too. Like, sorry, I've studied anatomy and physiology in school, so I was like, these words are used to describe a lot of different things. I didn't know that they could be. Anyways, so I went back and I was like, okay, in the moment, I didn't mean it to be harmful. And I'm still feeling a lot of shame and like just so many awful things. But when I got to that place of acceptance, I was like, oh my God, why can't I just say proudly, not proudly, but very openly, this was wrong and harmful and hurtful. I know that now. I will never do that again. And I am still I still feel, not I am, I still feel very ashamed, and I feel completely humiliated. And I was just laying in my bed and I was like, I feel completely humiliated. I feel ashamed. I feel uneducated. And I would just like openly, just being open about these feelings and like not trying to run away from them. And then I realized something about society, which was that shame controls us all. And it's so sad because it's literally the type of thing, like, shame is what leads people to kill themselves. Shame is what leads people to throw their lives away and to say, you know what, I'm nothing, I don't deserve anything. Shame is what is like the deepest emotion embedded in us, and it feels so real. I swear shame can feel like one of the realest things in the world, above like almost every other emotion. Like, sometimes shame, it just feels raw, it feels real, it feels like truth about yourself, which is the worst part because it actually has nothing to do with you and everything to do with just how you're transparently feeling in the moment. There's a video this guy made. I don't know his name, but he talked about compassion and shame. It's this old man. I don't know who he is, but I watched this video, and one of my favorite lines ever in the world, like one of my favorite things to say ever now, is that shame is innocent. I love that. Shame is so innocent. And he talks about how it comes from like the innocent desire to belong, the innocent desire to be loved, the innocent desire to connect. And like I thought about it, and in that moment, that deep shame was like, oh my god, I'm ostracized from society now. I said this harmful thing that was uneducated and stupid and foolish, and now I have lost my community, potentially. Like that's what my brain was going through. I've lost community because of this foolishness. I've made people feel disrespected because of this. I've lost my herd. My herd is gone. I've like, as a mammal, I was like, my herd. I was like, no, like I fucked everything up. And it was just so innocent. And then that led to everything just being a lot like easier, because I was like, there wasn't harm intended. However, the accountability is still going to be faced. And accountability is so much easier to face and to be friends with when you really nurture your shame. I kind of want that to be like a big part of this video too. Like accountability is so much easier to just like walk hand in hand with and like welcome openly when you nurture your shame. Like today I'm like, wow, that was fucking awful. And I will never do that again. That was, wow. I've learned a lot now, and I'm not gonna ever do that again. And that only came because I was like openly feeling this emotion and openly allowing it into my life. And I don't know, it was just like a big epiphany for me. And so the question that I have for anybody watching this, if you want to get into your shame, is when did it become less about the feeling and more about your intrinsic worth? I don't actually need a time frame, honestly, not when, but like usually when shame appears, an event happened in our lives and we internalize it so much as a personal failure instead of an emotion that can actually help us grow and change and be better people and make a better earth and all of that. And it's like, it's so unfortunate that this had happened, but when did it become less about the accountability and like the learning and more about my intrinsic worth is awful and I'm a failure and I deserve death? That happens with people. And also, is there a way you can find innocence in your shame? Like at the end of the day, say you did something like you were obsessed with somebody, you had a crush and you just made a fool out of yourself, or you said something stupid in front of like all your friends, or like what I did, and or just anything like shameful, or like maybe you ate a lot of this food that you didn't want to eat and you feel bad. Maybe you, I'm gonna just say it, maybe you watched a lot of, and you feel like shit. Is there anything even slightly innocent there? Maybe it's a desire for comfort. Maybe it's a desire for love and connection and belonging with people. Maybe it's like, for example, like if you had like a crazy crush like I have, it was just a desire to connect. It was a desire to belong. It was a desire to feel validated. And like, even if you think like, no, I'm so horrible, I promise everybody else is the same. I really do. I really do promise that. Like, I immediately went online and I was like, I said this thing. It was horrible and it was racist. And then I found a bunch of other people who were like, I also did that. I did that for years and I am now deeply ashamed and I can't believe that, but I'm glad I know better. And it hit me. I was like, wow. I would have totally gone down the route of like trying to defend myself and avoid this emotion and just trying to be like, no, I'm a good person, I swear. And like never facing that accountability, never facing, oh, I can do better now. I've learned more, I can do better. It would have just been like me trying to protect me, but being like, no, I swear, this is why I can't, no. But it was like, it's okay that this defensive thing is here. It is in our nature. We just want to belong. We just want love. At the end of the day, even people who don't want love want some aspect of love, whether that's freedom, like to love yourself, to love your own life. Everybody wants that. And even if they don't want love, they still want comfort. Everybody does. And it's like this part that is trying to run away and is in so much pain. I can still hold you like a baby. Even if I am so ashamed, I feel so ashamed. I can get to this part eventually. And it also opened up this crazy floor for me where I just looked at every single thing I was ashamed of in my life. And I had actually like looked back and realized like how much growth had happened. Like, for example, like there was this guy that I used to like in high school, and I was like looking back and I looked at that, whatever the hell happened between us, with such shame. I was just like, why did I bother him? Why did I try to talk to him? Why did I, but all I had wished for in that part of my life was just to get to know that person, just to like be friends with them, hopefully. And then to my current, like my most recent person that I had feelings for, I was so ashamed because I was like, why was I always talking to them? Why did I hang out with them? Why did I make them? And I was just like, oh, like it hit me in that moment that like the things that I regretted from this part of my past, I literally changed and implemented and put them into this part of my present to maybe hopefully have a better life and have a better time and like have a new experience. And then I realized that both of those things aren't even shameful. Even that was growth. And I was like, oh wow, I was so ashamed of talking to and getting to know this person and asking them out and asking them to hang out, when like that was my only regret with this person. And so I changed and I grew and I looked at both of them with shame, but here I am still being here for myself subconsciously and just viewing it as shameful for no reason, even though they both are deeply innocent. And then I don't know, like I just had like this like massive awakening, and right now I don't feel calm. I don't feel awakened. I don't feel enlightened. I don't feel hula because of my shame. I still feel bad. I still feel like, why the fuck did I say that? But I'm very glad that it's not this like self-attacking like cancer. The cat agrees. And I'm glad that I can now be like, this experience can... That was so painful. There are scratch marks on my leg. You blasphemous cat. This experience was shameful, but it taught me a lot. And then it also made me pictured myself as a mom, like talking to a child, like my child, and like I imagine like all the things that were told to me, like, no, it's okay, like, no, it's fine, like, it's okay, you didn't mean to, like, all this stuff, like, it's just, just like, it's whatever. Like, people who think that that would be bad, it's like, just don't focus on that. But I was like, whoa, now that I've experienced this deep level of this uncomfortable as fuck, nauseating, awful feeling, I can literally, like, that translated in my brain to like literally like being a better mother. But I don't mean like everybody. I mean like just being a better person. Like for me, I now imagined talking to that kid and being like, hey, what you did is wrong for this reason. It is not good. We're not going to pretend like it's good. I know that you had your reasons for saying that and your intent, it matters, but it still doesn't change the fact that this was wrong. It's okay because you're learning something. However, the thing you did is still not okay. So how are we going to learn from this? Great. And so then the next time in my life somebody goes through an experience where they accidentally said something racist that I didn't know was racist, or they said something rude, or they did something bad and they're coming to me with shame, I know how to help them. And not in this like, you didn't do anything wrong, everything's fine kind of way. It's kind of just like a, hey, that was a little humiliating. That probably feels super awful, and you probably feel ashamed, and you probably feel humiliated, and you probably feel uneducated, and you probably feel like a monster. That is not you. You are none of those things. Your intention, as innocent as it was, it matters. Your intention, it matters. Of course it does. But that doesn't change this. But I'm not going to punish you or tell you that everything's okay, because both of those things are fucking ridiculous to do. Like, I was looking back at some of the things that, like, my parents did and, like, what other adults I still see today do, and it's like, punishment or, like, just ignoring shit is just, like, complete bullshit. Like, the world that has opened up to me now and the growth that has opened up to me because of this shame and because of seeing it exactly as it is objectively has been so beneficial. Like, it feels like I ate, like, the most nutritious bread in the world. Like, it feels amazing. It feels like, okay, this is the reality of this. It's okay. It's also simultaneously not okay. What do we do now? How can we help now? Perfect. Also, you're still gonna feel like shit for a while. That's it. And then you move on and you grow and it's okay. Anyways, so I feel like I repeated a lot of the stuff I said like 8,000 times, but try to imagine yourself as like a baby orange cat. Your consciousness just straight, I say this all the time, I say this to all my friends, your consciousness just straight up fell into an evolved monkey type thing that lives on a planet with rocks and trees and 7-Eleven and Uber Eats and Donald Trump, and this is a wild experience. This is a weird experience. You're not gonna do things right all the time. There isn't even a right. Humans made it. But at the end of the day, what are you gonna do to sit right with you? Running seems like a good option. Seems like the best option, actually. Seems like the only option sometimes. If you run, you're gonna run forever, honestly. Blinders seem like a good option also. But that feeling's also gonna be like a leech and it'll stick onto you forever. The way humans get past things is by facing them. And the way we grow is by learning from them. And you can sugarcoat life and all the shit, but like, that genuinely makes life worth living. And yeah. Sorry, I had a point there. What I meant to say from that like whole consciousness into this monkey thing was like, this is your first time being here. Your brain created the good and the bad. And yes, there are some things that technically are good and bad, like, you know, don't murder children, you know, but it's okay to get things wrong. It's okay. It really is okay. Like, if you got nothing from this video and you're still watching, like, pause and look me in my eyes right now. It's okay. I'm telling you, it's okay. And you're like, no, you don't understand my situation. What if I told you 8 billion other people also think like that? What if I told you that it's so hysterical that you think you're alone because of how many people have lived on this earth and have went through this exact same thing? And like, I mean exact. And like, I mean for you unique monsters who think that you're unique monsters, I mean exact. And there's things to learn. There's things to change. There's ways to grow. And there's ways to, above all, nurture yourself. You're never gonna learn from shit unless you're just there for yourself and you care for yourself and you're like, hey, this is what's up. What are we gonna do now? You don't need to catastrophize. I promise it's okay. Your shame is the most aggressive and painful teacher, but at the end of the day, it is like a child with a blanket, like that one man said, and it just wants to belong. It's not this monster. It's a child with a blanket that pissed the bed, and they're like, I don't know what to do. I'm so horrible. And you're like, damn. Take a breather. Like, I promise. I promise. This is coming from somebody who, when their therapist asked them, what if you had a magic wand to get rid of one emotion, what would it be? I said shame. I get it. I get the OCD thoughts. I get the intrusive thoughts. I get the what if I'm a this thought. I get it. But all energy can be transferred. All energy is asking to be transferred. Even things that are monstrous and horrible to society, even that at somebody's youth should have just been transferred energy, honestly. And compassion will change everything. I don't know what I'm getting at here. I should have ended the video. This is Patch. She says hello. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Be kind to yourself. You are all you have. Not true, but at this moment, probably. Okay, bye.